It was close to 9 p.m. when I left the store. Around this time of night, there tends to be an especially large number of juvie types in the shopping district. I got the urge to vomit when I saw them sitting there along the road like it belonged to them, or grinning crudely while eating fast food hamburgers. If I made the mistake of meeting their eyes, those imbeciles would soon react by attacking me. What savages. People like that aren't human beings. They're just males and females. They don't have a single fragment of social intelligence. Guys like that should go die, seriously. They should go off and die. Whoa, that's a bit much. That way of thinking is a little bit extreme. It's what I got thinking, but when you got down to it, it was pointless to respond to them, so I planned to hastily remove myself from the shopping district. It took me a little out of my way, but after leaving S Cafe, it was my routine to stop by either the nearby Manga the Rake or Animate stores. I probably butchered those words, I'm so sorry. Deciding I would go to Animate today, I headed for the subway southern entrance. When you come this way, the number of delinquents sharply decreases. The central district was seriously chaotic, just walking there almost made it hard to breathe. If it were possible, I wouldn't want to take a single step closer. I wanted all to get destroyed, leaving behind only at cafe and... Ooh, that word. Maybe it's Manga Darake? I'm not sure. Please in the comments somebody correct me. Now then, I'll throw through the comics and doujinshi today as well. Of course, sure. I come to think of it, pre-orders for the 5th Horatio DVD should be opening soon. Shouldn't they? Before I knew it, I was standing on the narrow street in the Maruyama area that I always use to get back to my base from. I blinked multiple times. I took a peek in some bags. Several textbooks and a gaming-enabled cell phone were the only things inside. I hadn't brought anything in Animate today. Despite the fact that I always buy something there without fail. I let out a sigh and began walking again. From here it should take less than 15 minutes to get back to my base. Merely moving a little ways away from the station was enough to make the dazzling lights and neon vanish, and the presences of other people grow scarce. If I had to put it one way or another, it wasn't very active. At most, I saw middle-aged couples on the way to the hotel district, and once in a while a salaryman returning to his nearby home. I had a hard time thinking that it was the same Shibuya as the shopping district, which overflowed with those delinquents. It seemed that clouds had come out now that it was night and the moon was hidden from view, making the road darker than usual. Why do I have the feeling that something terrible is going to happen? Familiar scenery, a filthy street. It was attacked by a peculiar sensation that I had gone lost in a different world altogether. Although the scenery itself hadn't changed, it was as if I were setting foot in this place for the first time. Also, the rotten stench of raw garbage was floating in the air. The seeping moisture that clung to my skin was enough to make me mistakenly think it was raining. The air seemed to pace itself to me. When was again referring to? When had I previously experienced Am I fool? Shouldn't it be deja vu? Or is Jemai something different? Damn it, reality and my delusions were getting mixed together. Now my thoughts were starting to resemble the stereotypical analysis offered by some sketchy expert on the TV variety show, weren't they? Anyway, I was certainly experiencing my food at this very moment. And that wasn't all. That prickling along the muscles of my neck, that sensation that someone looking down from me from heavens. It was an hallucination, no matter how much I sped up my pace, the gaze followed me wherever I went. Right now, someone was definitely watching me. The presence of the gaze was just that strong. I wanted to turn around, but in the end I didn't. This was a game I challenged myself with every once in a while. When I heard some small noise, even if I had the feeling that someone was watching me, I played the "it'll take more than that to make me turn around" game. If I turned around, I would lose. The visions that usually appeared in my head when I sensed the gaze were ghosts with horrifying faces, monsters, things like that. Oh, jump scares, I don't like them. Well, whatever the case, in those past 17 years, there was a single instance of me turning around and actually finding something there. Jinx it, please. With a limited guarantee of safety attached to it, I came to enjoy this single-player mental game. I would listen carefully to the wind, raise one eyebrow and make a dubious face. Try saying manga-esque lines. Because the reason I didn't turn around wasn't because I was scared or anything. Baka.
貴様見ているな。その目誰の目？なんちゃって。
I had meant to make an urgent show of my nonchalance, but before I realized it, my feet had stopped. Sensing a faint alteration in the strained air, I cowered. At some point, my face has become soaked with sweat, and my knees seemed to have seemed about to start knocking. Unable to bear it any longer, I turned around. I lost the game, but there was no one behind me after all. There weren't even cars passing. There was a sense of displacement. The ringing in my ears stopped. I noticed the sound only when it stopped, but until then I had been hearing a sound like my ears ringing. Up until then, I had completely failed to recognize the fact that they was ringing. And now I heard nothing, a silence so sudden, it seemed like a lie, especially smack in the middle of a city. I had the feeling that I should be able to hear any sounds out there with incredibly clarity. Is it just me, or are there some typos in this game? I shut my eyes tight and focused on my hearing. Oh, but of course I heard nothing. Strange. This was really strange. Normally I would hear things like trains running in the distance and car horns beeping. Why? Had something gone wrong with my ears? I wanted to shout out loud. I felt like I'd go crazy if I didn't. But I couldn't do it. It was still quiet, and the thought that breaking this silence might bring about something terrible made me hesitate. Oh shit. A single sound unexpectedly entered my soundless world. What? When I glanced over, at the end of the dirty road lay fallen numerous shining somethings. They were strewn about to cover the asphalt. Looks like crosses, yeah. The instant I recognized them as such, my feet, which before had refused to do as much as twitch, spontaneously stepped forward. Picking up one of the scattered crosses, I found that it was made of metal, and its lengthy point sharpened into something like a needle. A stake? Or a nail? Because it was shaped strangely, I had mistaken it for a cross. I felt buoyant as I gripped the stake in my hand. God, I'm really tense now. I could hear it, the soft resounding sound of something or other. A cheeky sound, one that made the muscles of my back freeze up. It came to me at intervals. My feet wouldn't stop. I continued walking as though my conscience were being sucked in that sound's direction. Was I being driven by a morbid curiosity, or was it because I wanted someone to save me? Because I wanted to be lifted out of that soundless world? It was turning out almost like a German folk tale. How did it go? That's right, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Over 100 children were lured away by the sound of his pipe. The sound didn't stop, the unpleasant sound of something being hammered. Something being hammered grew closer and closer as I continued forward. I remember a very quick flash of in the previous part of a human skull with nails stuck in his face. I'm really scared. The sound was coming from the depths of a narrow alleyway to my left. If I turned the corner, I would discover his sword. Why didn't I think of drawing back? The idea didn't even occur to me. It was as though I was being made to move by something outside me. If I turned the corner, I would leapt into my eyes was floating up out of the darkness, a brilliant red. Oh, hey. My first reaction was to think, I've seen this object that somewhere before. That and it doesn't look real. Some of the screws holding together my heart might have gotten blasted away, my senses might have gone numb. If it were my usual self, terror would make me let out a pathetic scream, collapse, and urinate on the spot. An object that, like a hedgehog or a bunch of flower arranging needles. A myriad stakes kept it stuck to the wall. As I gazed mindlessly at it, I realized that a huge quantity of red blood was flowing from the mountain of stakes. The brilliant red I had initially seen was a puddle of blood, lit by the weakened light of the street lamps that just barely reached it. The red let off a slick luster, also very sick, so it fits. Moreover, a bunch of shiny flesh-like lumps that I couldn't identify were lying around. This is so gross. I don't even know anymore. I started to suck in my breath, but at some point my throat had dried up. Not a single drop of saliva ran down it. I had realized that the thing being pinned down by the stakes was a human corpse. That was a quick flash. It was done too immorally, too mercilessly, too thoroughly. And one who had done so, the one who had driven this many stakes into the concrete, was a single girl. If I were to say how I knew that, because a girl gripping a bundle of stakes with scarlet painted hands was at this very moment standing still in front of the object. Since the back was facing me, I couldn't tell what kind of expression she was making. Dude, get the hell out of there! But the uniform she wore was from Sume. The rotten garbage-like smell our instance earlier reached my nose more vividly, making nausea come at me in intervals. Unable to tolerate it, I covered my mouth and struggled to keep my stomach acid from bursting out. At that point, I finally remembered the origin of the feeling that I've seen this somewhere before. Isn't that supposed to be deja vu? Maybe? I don't know.
あの時の将軍のリンク写真
I raised my voice without meaning to, without realizing that such an action was fatal. At the sound of my voice, her blood-dyed shoulders shivered, and she suddenly turned to face me. Her gaze pierced through me, such dark eyes. What? I'm just remembering this is probably just part 3 or something. This is insane. He had killed somebody. She looked at me, widening her eyes as though shocked, then shifted to her tearful smile and squeezed her voice out.
よかった。
He murmured, "Glad? What was there to be glad about? More importantly, in a situation like this, why would she see me and smile? Maybe she thinks you're next." Her meaning was unclear. It was so unclear that something cold ran down my spine, and I hastily averted my eyes. I reflexively thought, I don't want to get caught up in anything weird. Well, I guess it's too late now. I couldn't talk to real girls while looking down at them in the eye. And even setting that aside, she was unmistakably a murderer. The police would come soon and I was hungry. Right, that's why I should go home. I should leave right this second. If not, I'll go insane. How does she know her name? She abruptly called my name, even though it was the first time we'd met. And I hadn't given her my name.
あなたに会いたかった。
As she watched me, her lips twisted in a horrifically fearless smile, like those of a demon. I screamed. While screaming, I ran blindly. I went on yelling even as it became hard to breathe, and whatever happened, I desperately kept running. I turned just once to look behind me, but she hadn't come chasing after me. What? I was running out of air. I could hear my own painful rapid breathing. We're back here. I was taking photos of my PC monitor. My whole body was drenched in sweat, and it had soaked through my clothes. What happened just now? Had I imagined it? I was about to lose control of my nausea. To suppress it, I took some coke out of the fridge and poured it into my mouth. It was a very real-seeming delusion, if I do say so myself. But it was way too guru. Yeah. I still couldn't catch my breath. Would the delusion leave me without enough air? Like hell it would. Something about my right hand fell out of place. I was gripping my fist so tightly that my fingers turned white. I had been utterly unaware that I was doing it. My heart pounding, I relaxed my muscles and slowly opened my hand. Don't tell me there's a cross stake there. A single stake rested on the palm of my hand. Righted, I flung it at the wall. Stake from before I had definitely picked up some of the stakes strewn across the street. But why was it here? Hadn't that been an hallucination? I don't understand, I don't understand, I don't understand. That's impossible, that's impossible, that's impossible. Don't keep... So tense right now. Also, I'm just saying it now, there will be a time when he's going to look around and there will be a jump scare. I'm sure of it. Going into my head. I stumbled aimlessly around my room. For starters, I had to find out whether the ghastly scene I'd witnessed just a little while ago had been reality or the product of my delusions. Or so I thought, but I stepped on the staircase that had fallen onto the floor and my foot slipped. I reached out, seeking something to grab onto, so as to keep myself from falling. No, not the waifus. But I grasped what was the edge of the shelf where my wives were lined up. Ow! Shit, I thought, but it was already too late. Unable to support myself, I collapsed onto the floor. Above me, my prettily arranged figures came pouring down in huge numbers. Damn it. It was as bad as it got. Everything was at its absolute worst. I stood up, groaning, and checked to see if my figures were safe.
侵害魔境のイグニスさんの剣が
Oh, that's so wise. It had broken neatly in half. Despite the fact that I bought this at an online auction at a premium price.
ふざけんなよ
I tried to sort of piece the sword back together, but even if I could line up the broken parts, it would be impossible to completely restore it. But this it has lost all its value.
マジで勘弁してくれよクソ
Pissed off, I kicked up my chair. My eyes filled up with tears. Why did this kind of thing have to happen to me? When did I do anything wrong? Popping heartbrokenly into place, I spent some time looking at my wordless things and getting depressed. Ah! What the hell? When the storm of rage and confusion finished passing through me, her face and the tableau of the object d'art finally rose up at the back of my brain. The fact that I still had the stake meant it had been reality, not my imagination. I didn't want to, but I had no choice but to acknowledge it. Tomorrow, no doubt, the mass media would be in an uproar. I definitely didn't want to get wrapped up in something like this. Make no mistake, I'd be rude if I got involved in someone like her, no rather with that demon. I was already well on my way to self-destruction to begin with. Because I had brought home a deadly weapon, a precious piece of evidence, wouldn't it be odd for people to suspect me of being the perpetrator? Well, if they would fingerprint all the other crosses which were used to stick the body to the wall, and if they wouldn't find your fingerprints on those, then I guess not. On top of it all, the demon had seen my face. I couldn't run away from this whole affair. Next time, the demon would come after me. For now, I should put my thoughts in order for my own sake, for the sake of surviving. I had to get organized. If not, there was no way she would duplicate the killing method so faithfully. That girl must have begun by using composite photos to meticulously simulate the scene of the crime, and then onto the crime itself, although she'd probably call it her work of art. That's what this means to be psycho. She must have tried to carry everything out to perfection.
頭がおかしいよでもどうしてそれを僕にそもそもあの女はナイトハルトが僕だってどうやって知った僕の名前をどうやって知った
One thing I really like about this main character is that he asks the questions that everyone probably is thinking, what should I do? That demon would come to kill me soon, I knew it. If she knew my name and email, there was a strong chance that she'd also found out my address. Seated in my chair, I hugged my knees and buried my face in them. The abnormal killing method I'd seen yesterday. When I thought about that, I might have been killed the same way. Wait, was that yesterday? Was there a time skip after this? Oh, I couldn't keep my cool in the slightest.
死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない
Whoa.
大丈夫。
What? What? Bertrand in front of my monitor smiled at me.
タッキー、あなたはこの部屋に引きこもってればいいんだよ。したらあの悪魔だって手出しできないっしょ。そのうちに警察がうまく捕まえてくれるって。それまでは誰も信じちゃダメ。誰の言葉にも耳を傾けちゃダメ。
Is it just me, or does she look like that one girl he ran away from?
悪魔ってさ、人の心の隙間をついてくるのが好きなんだよね。油断すんのはノー。できるっしょ、タッキー。
でもセーラ、
逃げるが勝ちってよく言うし、三次元のことなんてきれいさっぱり忘れちゃえばいいんさ。あなたには一切関係ないことだって思えば気が楽っしょ。関係ないこと考えたって無駄無駄さ。いいこと教えてあげる。引きこもりって最強なんよ。だって誰にも会わないっしょ。つまり誰にも攻撃されない。これぞ最強の自己防衛方法なわけさ。だからタッキーは引きこもりになるべきなんさ。簡単っしょ。
そうかもしれない。
How sad as expected from a wife of mine. What the hell is going on? Facing forward, I gently picked up Seraton by his slender waist. No matter how close I brought her to my face, she kept smiling without making a single expression of disgust.
ありがとうセーラ、おかげで勇気が出てきた。そうだよ、三次元なんてクソくらいだ。あの悪魔だって僕みたいなキモオタのことなんて気にも留めてないさ。
Except she saw you and smiled, so maybe she does care a little. Please.
僕は安全だ。安心して毎日演奏したり好きなアニメを見てれば何の問題もないんだ。
でもさっき言ったみたく油断は禁物だぞ。
うん、分かってるよ。
I won't trust anyone. I won't listen to anyone. I'll be wary of everything about the third dimension. Do all that and things will turn
セ
okay.
ーラにそこまで心配してもらえて僕は幸せだな。さてと、それじゃ気分直しに演スロット。